So today we're taking one last look at an EVGA B stock graphics card. This time it's a 1060 6GB card. So as we get into this, if you want to see more videos like this where I take a look at a lot of older hardware, hit that sub button down below. That like button helps out a lot as well. And also, if you're interested in B stock things in general, there's a discount code linked down below with the link to the B stock website where you can find some excellent deals at EVGA's website. So starting off with this graphics card, this is obviously a single fan design, and that brings me to really the biggest thing that I don't like about this graphics card. Now, I picked this thing up for about $130 after tax was all said and done, and this is the variant of this particular 1060 where the clocks are a little bit lower. So EVGA had a couple of these single fan variants of the 1060. One of them had slightly higher clocks. This is the one with the slightly lower clocks, and that's actually not really a detriment with these 1060s, and that's mostly gonna be as a result of temperatures, which we're gonna actually jump right into talking about the temperatures in general. Basically, just like the GT 1030 that we looked at that was a passive design, this 1060 can't quite stay completely cool on a test bench that's open air with no additional airflow being helped out by any sort of chassis fans or anything like that. You are going to give up just a little bit of performance with the stock fan curve. Now, on the bright side, the sound from this thing wasn't anything too obtrusive to the experience with this particular 1060. I've actually had some single fan 1060s in the past that were very loud. This one was noticeable, but it was a hum in the background. It wasn't a crazy loud jet blower, jet aircraft engine or anything like that. It was in the background, and it pretty quickly faded into the background while playing games. However, with the temperatures rising with the stock fan curve, you are giving up some frequency once it hits about that 82 degrees Celsius point. So if you want this thing to stay completely cool to the point where you're gonna get the most out of this card with the highest frequencies possible, there are a couple of solutions. So the simplest solution is to just run your fan at a higher speed, which I don't know that a lot of people are gonna wanna do, unless of course you maybe use closed back headphones, perhaps, in which case the background noise actually might not bother you whatsoever. Another solution could be to actually undervolt this card, and I don't know about how your experience with that is going to be. That's just me throwing out a solution there, because I've had 1060s in the past that clock up into the around like 2000 megahertz range, so it's not a stretch for me to believe that a card like this with an undervolt could actually perform at the same frequency, just do it at a lower voltage and thereby saving some on your thermal load. And then of course the last option would be look for an aftermarket cooler for this thing, whether it be just from a different 1060 model that maybe had a dual fan design with a bigger heatsink on it, or maybe you can find something from like Arctic. I'm not sure if they make a compatible air cooler for a card like this, but looking for an aftermarket cooler beyond this single fan design could be an option as well for those of you that maybe already have this card but are looking to maybe get a little bit more frequency out of it. Now, just like with the GTX 1070, I did tear this card down, though there is virtually nothing of note with the teardown. Everything looked to be in very good shape. The thermal paste looked like it was pretty fresh, so I'm not sure if they applied new thermal paste or maybe it was just a card that didn't see a lot of use, hadn't been baked on, or was maybe a later manufactured card that just had more recent thermal paste in general. I don't really know the reason behind it, but regardless, the thermal paste was pretty fresh, and we sort of saw the result of that with the noise versus the temperatures. Like I said, in the past I've had some of these single fan designs get very loud, and my thought with that is likely that it comes from older thermal paste that's just not doing as good a job anymore. As that thermal paste ages, you're going to get your card sounding a little bit louder and a little bit louder over time. Eventually it may sound like an engine, like a jet aircraft engine taking off, so at that point you may want to replace the thermal paste, but the teardown was uneventful. It was, you know, it was in good shape. The card itself, as a B stock card, is in excellent shape. Now, with this being the 6 GB variant of the 1060, I do expect it to perform in the neighborhood of something like an 8 GB RX 480 or an 8 GB RX 580. They'll trade blows back and forth. I think the AMD cards typically age a little bit better, and with a little bit more VRAM, if all else is the same, I'd probably recommend the 580 8 GB card at the same price. But checking on eBay, it looks like 8 GB 580s are a little bit more expensive typically than the $130 that you're gonna pay for something like this off of the Bstock website, at least when you catch it on a good deal. So with that, let's jump into the benchmarks, but I suppose I should go over the test bench first. Just real quickly here, we have an i5-10400 as our CPU. We have 32 GB of DDR4 memory running in a 2x16 configuration at 2666 megahertz, and of course, we have a GTX 1060 6 GB card. All games are run off of a SATA-based SSD. Let's hop right into those. So looking at Fortnite, first and foremost, we have an excellent experience here with an average frame rate of 246, 1% low of 168, and a 0.1% low of 104. That's at 1080p on the low preset. And yeah, this was an excellent experience, which is exactly what I would expect from a card that's really right now probably more targeted towards people that are playing 1080p games, but maybe more graphically demanding games like AAA titles will probably run fairly well, and we're going to see in a little bit how that goes. But 1080p Fortnite for a card like this, no problem, and that's shown here in the benchmark. Next, I jumped into Call of Duty Warzone and ran a Battle Royale match, and on the normal/high settings, there was a little bit of a combination of both normal and high settings at 1080p. Again, really nice experience here. The average frame rate was over 60 at that 74 mark, 1% low was at 57, and 0.1% low was at 51. And what I really liked about this experience was there wasn't much spread in the FPS from moment to moment, so it came across as a very smooth experience. Though being a competitive game like this would be a title that might be a good candidate for you to lower settings down to get even more frames out of it, but that's sort of a personal preference thing. Regardless, this game is gonna definitely run pretty well on this card. Next up was an easy to run game, but also a well optimized game, Star Wars Squadrons on the high preset. We saw an average of 112, 1% low of 83, and a 0.1% low of 65. Again, a really nice experience on this card and this hardware configuration. Next is when we get into some titles that are not quite as easy to run, starting with Metro Exodus, which is notoriously A, all over the map with this built-in benchmarking tool, and B, just a demanding game in general. But on the normal preset for this built-in benchmark, we saw an average right at 60 FPS, 1% low of 29, and a 0.1% low of 27. And anecdotally here, I saw frame rates that were dipping down routinely into the 30s in more demanding areas of this game, or at least of this benchmark. So this is a title I would actually probably recommend you lower settings down just a little bit further to make sure you give yourself a nice little buffer between your frame rate and that 30 FPS mark. But this is definitely a playable experience at 1080p on this title. Moving over to Borderlands 3 on the medium preset at 1080p, we saw an average FPS of 77, a 1% low of 61, and a 0.1% low of 53. And yeah, this was a really nice experience for this built-in benchmark. And this is a title that sometimes stutters with graphics cards that just aren't quite up to matching it. So this was really nice to see not just a good frame rate, but also a consistent frame rate. And finally, Red Dead Redemption 2 on the medium settings in general at 1080p. Saw that average frame rate just barely above 30 at 31, a 1% low of 22, and a 0.1% low of 20. And this, like Metro Exodus, is an excellent candidate for either dropping settings down a little bit further, dropping resolution down a little bit further, or maybe even a combination of both to make sure that you get a really nice gaming experience. This is a title the 1060 6GB can run. You're just probably gonna wanna play around with the settings to get it to a frame rate that's acceptable to your standards. If you're looking for 60 FPS, you may struggle to get it there without dropping clear down to something like 720p. So if you're really looking for this game in particular and a hardware configuration that's going to run it well, you may want to look at one tier above the 1060. Something like a 1070 instead would run this game a lot closer to that 60 FPS mark you're probably trying to reach. So right now the GPU market is in a state of transition, and it's really hard to say whether $130 for a 6GB 1060 is a good deal at the moment. With AMD's new cards coming out and the RTX 3000 lineup taking shape and eventually actually going to be available, this could actually be a really good option as a way to get you up and running, with the idea being that you sell it off as soon as you find the card that you're actually looking for from these newer generation cards. Or if you're just looking to play esports titles and maybe some AAA gaming at 1080p, this is an excellent candidate for that. At $130, it's an okay value. It's probably right now better than most of what you're gonna find on places like eBay. If you're looking towards the used market and you can find one of these on EVGA's B-Stock website, there's probably more value here than something that you would find on the used market, especially once you factor in the 1-year warranty that comes with this card. So if you're looking in the market for a $130-ish graphics card, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, this could definitely be an option for you. But with that, I do want to hear from those of you out there that are still running a GTX 1060 6GB card. Are you still happy with the performance? What types of games are you playing? And if you're looking for an upgrade, what's that upgrade gonna be when you get around to buying a different graphics card? Let me know all your thoughts in those comments down below. And of course, if you like this video and you want to see more like it, give this video a like, share, subscribe, and comment. All those things are very helpful for the channel. You can follow me both on Instagram and on Twitter at Hoosier Hardware. And as always, I'll let YouTube queue up a couple more videos for my channel for you to watch. I'm Shane with Hoosier Hardware, and I'll see you guys in the next video.